He does this through sharpshooting at range and his use of these longer range weapons to transition into closer work. The key feature of Volkanovski's kickboxing strategy is a continuous game of footsie. He makes the opponent consider their steps and using his own, moved down to lightweight and finally settled at featherweight after already competing for 4 years as a professional. Through this time, Volkanovski was forced to contend with always being the shorter man. It was a far more ridiculous contrast when he was fighting lightweights and welterweights, but even within the UFC's featherweight division, he was always looking up to meet his opponent's gaze. Volkanovski is a good hitter and strong in the clinch, which are the traditional must-haves for a shorter fighter. However, the majority of Volkanovski's attacks are won by his work on the outside. He does this through sharpshooting at range and his use of these longer range weapons to transition into closer work. The key feature of Volkanovski's kickboxing strategy is a continuous game of footsie. He makes the opponent consider their steps and uses his own to hide his strikes and work his way into punching exchanges where his power can be brought to lever. This is combined with Volkanovski's constant use of feints in what some have playfully termed bullshit volume. The root of it all, though, is the step-up left kick. The step-up left kick is the meat of Alexander Volkanovski's outside game, and it works as both a single shot and a transition into punching range exchanges. The inside low kick has sometimes been called the jab of the kickboxing game because of its use in probing for openings and point scoring, but it is often misunderstood. Many coaches and fighters will tell you that the step-up left kick is one of the longest weapons in fighting, and this isn't really true. The range of any kick is dictated by the position of the standing left. Throwing a right low kick from an orthodox stance, the fighter anchors and pivots around his left foot, the one which was already out in front of him in his normal stance. Throwing a step-up left kick, the fighter anchors on his right foot, which was in the back of his stance, and unless he is stepping through past his lead foot, this will place his pivoting leg further back than on the rear leg low kick, causing his kick not to equal path. There are advantages to the step-up inside low kick though. One is that the fighter does not have to square himself to throw it. Kicking with the rear leg means turning into the opponent and presenting the centre line. An inside low kick, particularly with the hands in good framing position, allows a fighter to lock guard against punches going back at him or simply pull the opponent in smart. The trait that Volkanovski best exploits is that the step-up kick has a telegraph, a preliminary motion which is necessary to the strike. A load-up is often seen as a negative. We say he's telegraphing his right hand when a fighter drops his lead, because if the opponent picks up on it, the telegraphing fighter will get red and chin. But with his left kick, Volkanovski uses the step-up to create patterns and force reactions in his opponent's own footwork. The first element of the footsie game is that Volkanovski can rattle off the step-up kick at a furious clip. Quick enough that if the opponent isn't working on a hair trigger, Volkanovski can get in some good digs. Against opponents who pick up the front foot to check his inside low kick, like Jose Aldo, Volkanovski will take the same left kick up to the body, often digging into the foot below the elbow. As Dan Henderson demonstrated through his MMA career, both a good inside thigh connection and a checked kick can result in an opportunity to punch. When an opponent lifts their leg to check, Volkanovski has locked them in place momentarily. When Volkanovski can punt the leg for free and knock it out of position, he can put his foot down inside the opponent's range and start swinging, as when he teed off against Chad Mendes along the fence. But the threat of the inside low kick alone can help Volkanovski push the fight towards the fence, where he can corner his opponent and enter with punches more easily. Figure 4 shows the simple step-up that Volkanovski uses repeatedly to chew up distance and force his opponent backwards. By scoring with the inside low kick, Volkanovski creates a reason to respect the telegraph, the step-up, and can create pressure and openings with this telegraph from then on. Chewing up distance with the feinted figure 4 is great on its own, but the step-up can also be used to sneak up the rear foot, a key principle of point fighting. The back foot is the anchor of the thrust for a jab, and by sneaking it up as close to the opponent as possible, the fighter can thrust far further into his jab than expected. This T-step jab, as Volkanovski repeatedly used against Brian Ortega, is one of the ways that Volkanovski can routinely surprise his much taller, longer opponents with his jab. The one considerable downside of the technique is that in shortening the stance to sneak the back foot up, the fighter becomes more vulnerable when he is hit. That's what Brian Ortega jabbed Volkanovski while his back foot was underneath him and forced him to stumble backwards. The importance of footwork to the kicking game can